Married at First Sight, season 11 is here. And I think for the first time in all the seasons of Married at First Sight that I've watched, I find myself rooting against a couple before they even walk down the aisle. Really, who is this Brett guy? Olivia seems like such a great person, such a nice person, and then you have this Brett. Like I don't even want to call him a man because that is a poor representation of men throughout the world, throughout time, throughout history. It is deplorable the way that he's been behaving, and we're not even to the relationship yet. I don't know what the matchmaking experts saw in this guy, but he is a dud through and through. It's like, they picked an entire couple based on two people liking cats. You know, I don't think that is a strong enough connection to base a relationship off of. Like, hey, if you're out there right now and you're single, pick one thing about yourself. Maybe you like the color blue. Just go around, ask random people, hey, you like the color blue? And if they say yes, get married. That's expert advice right there. Uh, just ridiculous. We had that scene. It's the start of the bachelor party. The waitress comes over, and he tries to flirt with her, giving her the wink, trying to make eye contact, say something witty, and it's like, dude, you're about to get married, and you're sitting with four other dudes who are about to get married. You don't have to prove to them how much of a player you are. Like, just enjoy yourself, have fun at your bachelor party, and then go to the wedding. That whole scene with Brett trying to squeeze into the bench, and then I don't know what his plan of attack there was with the conversation with Henry's friend. It was just disgusting. It was like one of those things where you're just sitting there watching and going, what on earth is going on right now? I feel so awkward. Like, can't even imagine what it was like to be in that situation. And I loved the little shot of him sitting down, and at the other end of the bench, Henry saying, this dude is terrible. That was amazing. So at least we can see that Henry seems to be a pretty good judge of character. So that's an extra plus for him going into our weddings. Yeah, Brett, not a fan. Hope things didn't work out for you, but I hope that Olivia has found someone for herself after your inevitable breakup, because she genuinely does seem like a nice person who's there for the right reasons. And, we kind of had a similar situation with Zach and Mindy last year, where Mindy was just such a great person, seemed like they were there for all the right reasons, and Zach just wasn't. He wasn't ready. He was just somebody who just wanted to still be single, and I mean, he couldn't even step up to live in the same place as Mindy. So hopefully Olivia finds better, because she deserves better. And the sooner we get Brett off the show, the better, because that's a doomed relationship right there. And the experts should be a little ashamed of putting that match together. It just kind of feels like Olivia just seemed like such a nice person that they just found someone for her, and it just doesn't feel like that is the way to go. The other couple that has some concerns about them is Karen and Miles, and that really makes me sad, because everything we've seen from Miles so far is he seems like such a nice, loving, caring man that, more men should aspire to have some of those attributes. And then we see Karen, she finds out his name, and was talking to the producer like, he has feelings. Like, can you imagine someone who has feelings? I don't want someone who has feelings. That's not somebody I'd go after. It would broke my heart a little bit, and not something that you like to hear, especially when there's still to this day a lot of negativity about men being open and sharing their feelings and opening their heart to people, and for her to, before she even meets the man, to basically shame him about the way he is. Not a great start for those two. All right, let's move on to some couples that maybe have a brighter outlook. Henry and Christina, they both come off to me as people who just want to just kind of stay in their own little bubble. So I'm hoping that those two bubbles can come together, because they both do seem like nice people. I mean, we did get that little bit of a diva vibe when Christina was doing her dress shopping, but that is something that does come out of people at times. Like, bridezillas are real, and maybe that's her, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm really hoping that those two can mesh well together. They both seem a little more on the quiet side. And if you did watch any of the pre-shows, the matchmaking special especially, they both seemed like they wanted more to be matched with more aggressive personalities, but they end up being both submissive personalities. So that will be interesting to see if that is something that the experts got right, and if they end up being a good fit together. Next up, we have Amani and Woody. I really disliked the whole scene where we had Woody and Miles essentially telling their friends that they're getting married, and it really felt like Woody just got attacked. And like even the people who were more there for Miles were just basically going after Woody, like, you're not ready to get married. Like, there was a little back and forth between Woody and Miles's sister, and I was just thinking, just scratching my head a little bit, because that is somebody who's not even invited to that table because of you. And they're just going to town on Woody. There is obviously that question about if he's ready to settle down. He does seem like a nice guy. His tagline is the life of the party, and at the bachelor party, it definitely seemed like he was that guy, the life of the party. But that doesn't always mean that someone is not ready to get married. Just because they like to be in that situation and have fun doesn't mean that is totally exclusive from being able to be in a committed relationship of any kind. So I'm hoping that doesn't end up being a negative, and that Woody is truly ready for marriage, because I want to see some couples work out this year. Like last season was a bit of a bummer, really, with just Jessica and Austin. Like every other couple was kind of a mess, and Jessica and Austin were kind of amazing. But I hope that we have a little bit better success this season, because that's why we watch the show. We don't just want to see breakups. Like, we want to see these couples succeed. We want to see the process. And lastly, we have Amelia and Bennett. They're the couple that we're all going to be rooting for. They're both kind of zany and different, and in my experience, that people who are those zany, crazy type people, they don't always mesh with other people who have that same out there personality. And I think that will be really interesting. But just based off what both of them have said, I do think that they have some attributes and things that they're looking for that are very compatible. Amelia is a doctor, and said that really she's happy with finding someone who just wants to be a stay-at-home dad. And Bennett more or less said that he'd be happy with that role. He's very flexible on all the gender roles and where he would fit in that relationship. So that could be something that works out for them, but you still never know until they're together and they start having a relationship together. And then on top of that, I believe in one of the previews we saw Amelia say, "I know that guy," as she's starting to walk down the aisle. And that could be good, that could be bad. You don't know what that connection is. We know one thing for sure: it wasn't on a dating app where they met, because when Bennett whipped out that phone, that was just quite the moment. No social media, no dating apps for Bennett. So at least we can't say that they matched on Tinder and it didn't work out, because he's never been on Tinder. And also, I want to touch on my favorite relationship of the season so far, a relationship that I'm really, really, really hoping works out, because I think they're both amazing together, and I'm feeling a lifetime partnership here, and that is Miles and Bennett. There was some scenes in the bachelor party and comments and just the way they interacted. I absolutely loved it, and I hope that we just get more Miles and Bennett all season long. Like, even if Karen stands up Bennett at the altar, I hope that Miles and Bennett just continue to hang out for the rest of the season, because it was pretty awesome. They're the odd couple, and they just kind of seemed perfect together. So I'm shipping Miles and Bennett as the couple of the season. All right, that's going to wrap up our season premiere. I'm a little bit late to the party today. I did not realize that we were starting up today, so I'm trying to catch up, and I believe we have episode 2 right happening right away tonight, so I will try to get that up tonight as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.